Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome to my thoughts on. This is going to be the first ever my thoughts on a certain game. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, just never really gotten around to it, and now I'm finally getting around to it. So basically my thoughts on, what it's going to be is just my thoughts on a certain game, whether it be a console game, a free online game, or a game on Steam maybe. It's just going to be my thoughts on the game, so it's going to be kind of like a review, but obviously a lot less professional. And it'll just involve me talking on the camera, no gameplay, anything like that. And so yeah, just giving you my thoughts on the game. I'll try and look at positives and negatives of every game that I give my thoughts. So I'm not going to, just completely bash a game or completely praise a game. I've got to look at positives and negatives as well from my playing experiences, basically. So yeah, the first episode, which is this one, I'm not going to name them episodes actually. But the first game I'm going to give my thoughts on is Jurassic Park Operation Genesis for the PlayStation 2. Okay, so the first thing we'll talk about is the different game modes in the game. There's actually 4 different game modes in the game, which I was really surprised about when I first got the game. I expected it only to be maybe 1 or 2 game modes, but it was actually 4. Those are Operation Genesis, which I consider to be the main mode, my personal favourite, and the one that I spent most time on. So what you've got to do in Operation Genesis is basically just create the part the way you want it. Basically, you create the shape of your island, and your only real objective is to get a 5-star park rating. So yeah, that's basically your only objective, and that's the only thing you really need to worry about. Next mode is the exercises mode, which basically you jump into a park that's already been built, I suppose. Sometimes parks bigger than others, depending on what exercise you're on. And basically, to complete the exercise, you have to complete these certain objectives, like get so many visitors in the park, get so much money, or get so much excitement from your attractions, basically. And you do that to complete exercises so you can go into the next exercise. And actually quite a lot of exercises, maybe 10 or 11, there's quite a lot of them surprisingly. So yeah, it's quite a lot of exercise to do if you're into that kind of thing. Next is the missions. Now the missions I was really surprised about. What you've got to do in these missions, you get like 4 or 5 different types of missions. These are more about action rather than building a park. You have to shoot dinosaurs, surprisingly. Yeah, shooting dinosaurs, not cruelty to dinosaurs or anything. Basically, carnivores and that's meat eaters, basically. Escape, like T-Rex, Velociraptor, things like that. They escape, you have to shoot them. You're basically up in the helicopter and you've got to shoot these dinosaurs, obviously before they attack visitors and that. There's also missions where you have to lure herbivores, which are the plant eaters, the friendly dinosaurs. And you've got to lure them into basically their enclosure. And there's also one you have to take control of a safari truck, or safari car I think it is actually, and basically you have to take pictures of dinosaurs, whether it be friendly dinosaurs or the dangerous dinosaurs. And yeah, basically you get so much points for basically how good the quality of picture you take. So I think that's a really good thing to add into the game, the missions, and I really enjoyed them. Okay, so the 4th and final game mode is the free roam. So basically in the free roam you don't have to pay any money to create dinosaurs. You just basically let them roam free and you can just see what they get up to really. I didn't really pay much attention to it. It wasn't really something I was interested in when I originally played the game. I just wanted to build my park and that, to be honest. But it's a good little feature if you're into that kind of thing. And but yeah, I didn't really see much point to it. You unlock the free roam by either completing all the exercises or all the missions. I'm not sure if you unlock it by getting a 5-star rating in Operation Genesis mode. Maybe you do, but I have no idea. But I do know you get it by completing all the exercises or all the missions. Okay, so there's also a Dinopedia in the game as well, which obviously is an encyclopedia about all the dinosaurs in the game. So obviously if you just bought the game because you like park simulators and you don't really know that much about dinosaurs, you can always look at the Dinopedia and basically find out a bit more about them. Which I think is a pretty good feature if you're new to dinosaurs and just like park simulators. The thing I'm going to talk about mostly in this my thoughts on is going to be the Operation Genesis mode, because that's obviously the one that I'm most familiar with and in my opinion the most enjoyable mode. So basically at the beginning of the mode you can choose what kind of island you want, whether you want it square, oval, lakes running through it, trees, mountains. So basically you can have the island that you want, your dream island, basically to start building your park. Throughout the game you always get messages coming through, which in my opinion do get a bit annoying. Obviously they do give you help, tell you what's going on with the fossil teams, with the dig up fossils. You basically need so many fossils, of a certain dinosaur. You need at least 50% DNA extraction to get basically so you can start breeding the dinosaurs basically. And all these messages come through, and they do get a bit annoying. Message from Dr. Grant. Message from Dr. Sackler. You know, they all just come through often at once, and you know they do get a bit annoying because usually it's just about the same thing over and over again. So I always think that did get a bit annoying. Obviously it was good at first, obviously just to get used to the game. But after a while they do start to get a bit annoying, in my opinion. Obviously if you start to get pretty, you know, familiar with the game, I do find that a bit annoying. The attractions in the game, I would say there's not really a huge amount of attractions in the game. I would say there's enough to make the game enjoyable, but I still think it'd have been a lot better if they'd added more attractions to the game. I'm only commenting on the PS2 version. I don't know about the PC. I know that's a lot more expensive, the PC version, but I don't know whether that's got more content, more dinosaurs, more attractions. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm just commenting on the PS2 version, what I've played. But there is I would say a cool selection of attractions like viewing towers, viewing platforms. Also safari rides, so you can take your visitors through the dinosaur enclosures to get a closer look. Make quite a lot of money from it, and also take pictures which you can sell to local magazines, I believe, which also gives you some extra money to spend. You've got balloon tours, which you can take obviously your visitors up in a balloon to get a good look at the park. Obviously you can take pictures there as well to post to the magazine as well. So there's, you know, quite a lot of cool ways basically to earn some extra money to put towards your park, which I think was a really good feature, and I'm so glad to put that in the game because I think it's really fun. Next thing to talk about is the dinosaurs. There's not a huge amount of dinosaurs in the game either. Again, just enough I would say to make the game enjoyable. But I would have liked, you know, some extra dinosaurs. But obviously your big names are in there. You know, T-Rex, Velociraptor, Brachiosaurus, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Acrocanthosaurus. So there's a lot of dinosaurs in the game. Some big names in there, which I think is pretty cool. The only thing I don't like again is the fact you can't have every single dinosaur in your park. So basically, if you want every single dinosaur, you have to have separate save files. Basically, you open up a dig site to dig for fossils, and in every dig site you can basically find fossils of 3 dinosaurs. Now, so basically once you unlock these 3 dig sites, you can't unlock any more dig sites, so it's like a total of maybe 8, 9 dig sites. So you're missing out on quite a lot of dinosaurs, and you can only have like 9 or 10 different types of dinosaurs in your park. Which I think is really disappointing considering there's about 20 or more dinosaurs in the game. I think that's pretty disappointing. Maybe that's different on the PC version, maybe there's no limits, but the fact that it's a bit restricted with the PS2 version anyway, I do think is something that I don't like about the game. I think that's a big negative, and again that's something that I really didn't like about the game. So, I remember when I first played the game I was so excited to unlock all these dig sites, to unlock some new dinosaurs and that, because I was a bombing dinosaur nutter back in the day. I loved Jurassic Park, loved basically everything really with dinosaurs in it really, so I was so blooming happy about this game. And basically the first park I didn't actually unlock the dig site that had the Tyrannosaurus Rex, so obviously that was a big disappointment for me, and I think I ended up starting it all over again in my park, just deleted it and started all over again just so I could get the dig site with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It is lucky that the instruction manual does tell you basically what dinosaurs you can unlock from each dig site. So yeah, I didn't know that back in the day, and I learnt my lesson the hard way basically, because I was just a bumming T-Rex fan and I really wanted T-Rex in my park. So I mean, I'm sure you can understand my disappointment when I didn't get one. So next thing we'll talk about is the music. I think the music in this game is absolutely fantastic, really good stuff. Quite a lot of different soundtracks. You get a different soundtrack basically depending on the weather. So if it's sunny you get this bright, cheerful soundtrack, and if it's a thunderstorm you get this bumming dark and pretty damn epic sounding soundtrack. And yeah, so you get like, I would say a total of maybe 5 different soundtracks during the game, and every single one of them in my opinion is absolutely fantastic. Probably the thunderstorm is probably my favourite one because it's so bloody epic. But like I say, they're all amazing soundtracks and I really bloody love them. Another negative about the game is twisters. Oh my god. I had such a hard time when I first played this game with bloody twisters. Basically this happens every now and again. It didn't actually happen the last time I made a park, which was surprising, considering I was about 2 or 3 years into the game basically in my park. I never actually got Twister, but basically Twister, it destroys everything in its way, and dinosaurs get out and blooming, the whole park's basically a mess. You have to obviously build like, visitor shelters, obviously so your visitors can hide in, obviously so they don't get killed, and you end up getting sued, and basically deeming your park very unsafe. So yes, and I say a negative, but that's kind of just part of the game. But yeah, it's blooming brutal, and it's really bloody unfair when it happens. I mean, I remember back in the day, I blooming built everything. It was blooming awesome. I got this bloody Twister for the first time. I was so blooming shocked to see it destroyed everything, well, almost everything. And I started to build it up again. It cost me a bloody fortune, and then another one happened like 2 or 3 months later in game time, obviously. And oh my god, it was just a mess, guys. It was an absolute mess. Ended up with hardly any money left. So yeah, it was a pretty bad experience for me with bloody twisters in the game. Really bloody brutal. So yeah, I don't think I can really comment anything else about this game. Overall, I would say it's a really good game, and to be honest, I would recommend it if you like, obviously, park simulators like Theme Park World or anything like that, or just empty, Jurassic Park in general. I think you'd really enjoy this game. I know it's about £12, £13. It still goes for quite a bit. There is a couple of things as well. There's also the 1,700 for a save file, which it is quite a lot. And the loading times in the game are quite long, so if you like switching between parts, it do take quite a while to load. But once you're actually in the game, it's actually okay. And but yeah, I can't really say anything else apart from that. A really good game, and like I say, I really recommend it if you're into that kind of game. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. This has been my thoughts on. So yeah, just tell me what you think of it. I'll accept, obviously, constructive criticism. Obviously, I always accept it. You've got to be constructive. You've got to give constructive criticism sometimes. Sometimes I like constructive criticism just to highlight things what I've done wrong and stuff. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you all in the next my thoughts on. See you guys. Thanks for watching.